over the weekend, there was a protest called No Kings. And I was like impressed with that because I realized that these people who were quote unquote protesting, they see the great white hope as the king. And it reminded me of black people, they see white people as superior to them. And then there are some white people who see Jewish people as superior to them. And so I was very, very impressed that these people were so proud to have a king that they had to go out and fight because they see Donald Trump, the great white hope, as king. Isn't that amazing? And it just ran through my mind again. What manner of man is this? The wind and sea obeys him. Human beings obey him, even his enemy. They are now calling him a king. He has never called himself that. That's what makes him so great. He, Donald Trump, the great white hope, has never called himself a king. But because of the amazing work that he's done, is doing, and his amazing attitude in doing all things, he is called king. And the interesting thing about it, once he retired, he's no longer around, his people are going to say, well, he called himself king. But he never called himself king. As Christ never called himself king. The people did that, not the Christ. Turn that arrow for me. Isn't that amazing? So they see Donald Trump as king. Isn't that amazing? Long live the king. Donald Trump is king. And it was proven over the weekend. And I noticed that everybody and their mama want to go to jail like the king. Whenever the king does, they want to do it. The governor of California, Newsom is dying. What am I didn't know Hate Mike was on, so I was telling them to turn the air on. And I thought they had turned his mic off since he wasn't using it. But anyway, even Gavin Newsom and other people, politicians, are dying to be arrested because the king was arrested. And when the king was arrested, it worked out in his favor. And they want to follow the king. Think about that. They're like, come arrest me. Arrest me. Come and arrest. There was a Mexican representative who no one had ever heard of. And he, according to the report, barged in on the update on the raid in California. And they didn't know he was a representative, according to the report, which wouldn't have mattered. It shouldn't have mattered anyway. The guy wants to get arrested. And now he's going around talking about how he was taken down. They are following the king. You have never heard Democratic representatives say they wanted to be arrested before. And now everybody, and their mama, if you're black, everybody and their mama, if you're white, want to be arrested. Long live the king. The dream team is Donald Trump, Netanyahu, and Putin. Everybody want to be like those three guys. So some of you know they were celebrating a king over the weekend in Los Angeles and around the country. Other cities. PBS News, after I come back, I'm going to play this soundbite for you where they were celebrating the king. They call him king. And when you write history down, Remember, they call him king. He did not call himself that. Jesus Christ never called himself king. The people did. The people call him Lord. The people call him all kind of amazing names. I want to show you the celebration of the king over the weekend. I wonder how Donald Trump, what he think and how does he feel knowing that the people see him as the king. He is a king. They call him king even though he doesn't call himself that. PBS News, protesters held rallies across the country opposing Trump's agenda on the day of President's military parade. They had an amazing, you would think that everybody and their mama, even the illegal aliens who pretend that they want to be in America, would have watched this amazing parade that was held over the weekend. And I don't know when the last time I've seen this in America, but I do remember seeing it at one time growing up. And it was very impressive. It was good. But so here is the report from PBS News.
Rallies across the country opposing President Trump's agenda on the day of the president's military parade. They cap a week of demonstrations against immigration raids that began in Los Angeles and spread nationwide. Today's events in about 2,000 cities and towns were organized by the No Kings movement, which calls the administration's actions authoritarian. There were rallies near Mr. Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence in West Palm Beach, Florida.
No ICE! No KKK! No fascist USA!
In Boston, where it was raining. In Atlanta, with Proud Boy counter-protesters looking on. And in Philadelphia, at the flagship No Kings rally. Local officials urged protesters to demonstrate peacefully and avoid blocking roads.
Did you ever imagine that one day the great white hope, Donald Trump, will be seen as a king? Think about that. Really, just think about that. He has such an influence on America that even the Democratic politicians are begging to be arrested. They want to, and they never wanted that before the king was arrested, but now they do. Figure that one out. Here's another look at the protests. Watch this from ABC News.
From Atlanta to Arlington to Albuquerque to Anaheim, 2,000 separate demonstrations this weekend in all 50 states. So-called No King's Day protest voicing opposition to President Trump's agenda and a joint birthday celebration he threw for the U.S. Army and himself. Many protests peaceful, but some erupting into chaos. Gunfire breaking out during a demonstration in Salt Lake City, Utah. Police rushing to help one victim in critical condition, authorities taking one man into custody and saying there are no other known threats to the community, a motive under investigation. In Los Angeles, police used flashbangs to break up crowds outside federal buildings downtown. Protesters seen running to safety. Demonstrations in Minnesota canceled after that deadly targeted shooting of Democratic lawmakers, authorities finding flyers for the protests in the suspect's vehicle. And in Charlotte, 2 protesters arrested for assaulting officers.
Amazing, huh? Absolutely amazing. Had Donald Trump not ordered the military to L.A., you remember how that radical, worse than the KK group, Black Lives Matter, burned down the country, including L.A.? That would have been happening right now had not Donald Trump called in the National Guard. I would be thanking Donald Trump, and it's no wonder if people see him as king. He rules. Amazing, huh? Here's a look at the U.S. military. And by the way, happy birthday to the Great White Hope. Happy birthday to Donald Trump, the Great White Hope. a birthday on 250-year birthday of the U.S. Army. Watch this from ABC News.
Meanwhile, a stark contrast for President Trump's night, filled with pomp and circumstance in Washington. Commemorating the 250th birthday of the U.S. Army and his 79th birthday, culminating in a military parade along the National Mall, the first of its kind since 1991. The military estimates Saturday's parade cost as much as $45 million in taxpayer money.
Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight.
I'd rather take the money and do that than to pay these out-of-wedlock mother babies, and they want you to have babysitters served for them and feed the illegals and get them free money and stuff. I'd rather be doing that with the military. Isn't that amazing? That celebration, if you didn't watch it, you should watch it. It reminded me of the way the white people used to be when I was growing up. White people used to love America and stand up for America, and they still do. They're just afraid to let it be known sometimes. But they used to stand up for America. Like in that parade, they celebrate the 4th of July with pride. It's nice to see that again. On the other side, other side of the military parade, thousands gathered to protest. It's funny how the white people love their country. The people who founded the country, they love it. And they let the people of color into their country. And the people of color destroyed the country. Just as they destroyed their own countries. Watch this. On the other side of the military parade, thousands gathered to protest.
But just outside the perimeter, thousands gathered to protest.
More than 1,000 people gathered at Logan Circle, now marching down towards the White House. But they felt passionate about being specifically here in D.C. peacefully to make sure that the White House hears their opposition.
President Trump told reporters last week that protesters would be met with heavy force.
I am here today, here in D.C., is because he threatened us. Like, how crazy.
Roseanne Rodriguez is a veteran who served with the 82nd Airborne.
I have a right protected by the Constitution that says I can be out here.
Now, the White House later attempted to clarify, saying the president supports peaceful protests, but his comments were motivating factors for some to cancel their D.C. events. Notably, there were no reported arrests in Saturday's march.
Amazing. So think about that. White people who founded and created the greatest country on this side of heaven are celebrating, and they're grateful. While the people of color who wrote the law to come in, or whatever reason you let them in on a so-called visa or whatever, are burning down the country. They have no appreciation for the country that gave them a chance or is giving them a chance. Think about that. Really, just think about it. And you let them in the country. There need to be something type of law that says you cannot come in. Doors are closed. Back door and front door closed. And I remember when they brought in a handful of white people from Africa, South Africa, where genocide is happening under white people. And somebody finally looked out for them. And people got mad. The whites who would come in and make it better, add to it, people got mad at that. But they want these people of color to come in and destroy the country. What a spiritual battle. A warfare between good and evil. My country is gone. And I hope you see what's going on, folks. See what's happening inside of you, and you will understand what's happening outside of you, inside of others. This is hell on earth inside of human beings. And human nature is evil. There is no good in human nature. And I also noticed that 888-7753-773, I will get your calls, but I also noticed that most of these protesting things are being headed up by women. And the weak beta men are following the women. Think about that. Just everything is backwards. Everything backwards on earth. The men are following the women instead of telling them, hey, no, calm down. This is an amazing country. We're not going to fight against my country. They're following the women. You know what happened? When Adam followed the woman, she became his God. And look what happened. Every time you listen to the woman, you will suffer. Even when you listen to your mama, you suffer. Every time you listen to the woman, and because you listen to her, you suffer. Because that's not the order of God. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. What a mess. It's time to wake up, men. You are needed in this world. And not just in America, but put America first. You are needed in America. It's time to stop being afraid. It's time to stop being weak. Return to the Father and come back to your natural role, your natural purpose in life. The women are going out of control. And these males are following them because they have the mindset of the female. They think like women. They feel like a woman, they think like a woman, and they react like a woman. Any man that gets angry and that has anger is a female. He has the nature of the woman, which is not her nature, but it's the nature of evil that made a home in her. 888-7753-773. Let me go all the way over to the UK and talk to Joe. Joe, you're on the air.
Thanks for taking my call. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Are you on a speaker though?
You know what? I'm calling from a website because Skype is down. This is a replacement, so I am on my laptop.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my question is about self.
About what?
What I want to about self. So
Self.
like
Okay.
the I.
Okay.
What I want to ask is, can we ever come to know like the I outside of the egoic I? If you know what I'm saying. And what I'm trying to ask.
100%. You can know. Once this old self disappear, this self that you think is you, once that disappear, you will know you.
Right, okay. Because you know what I'm kind of realizing is that I feel like the egoic I just encompasses everything. Like it gives me a perception about everything. Even like in prayer, and I become aware of a thought, it's like the egoic self, my egoic I, is the one that's observing those things. It's like it covers everything, and it's almost like there's no space outside of it. I'm just trying to find where you get to that space outside of it.
Turn them up a little bit, Nick. The false self that you're seeing is not you, and so the fact that you can see the false self is the light of Christ, allowing you to see that. And there's nothing true in it or about it at all. It's all an illusion. And that's why you got to drop all the false identities, because they are illusions. And so you're not living the real life. You're living in a dream. You're living an illusion. But once that, if you just watch it, be aware of the false self, the loneliness, the darkness, the worry, the anxiety, the suicidal thoughts or the confusion. All you need to do is watch it, Joe, but don't call it
Yeah.
you. Don't identify with it anymore, and the darkness will disappear. Because
Right. I understand you.
the light, which is of Christ, Christ is the light. And the light will destroy the darkness as you bring it to Him. When you bring it to the light will destroy the darkness.
Understood. Okay. And so let me ask you this then. So that watcher, that observer,
Yeah.
that isn't it. That isn't it. It's something else. The observer is different from it.
The observer is being observed by the light. The real you can
Right.
only see the darkness because the light is showing you the darkness. So don't call the light you either. Take on no identities at all because that's the problem.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. All right, Jesse, I appreciate it, man. That's really kind of what I wanted to call about. I've been sitting with that and trying to understand it more and gain clarity. But yeah, I appreciate you.
If you stay with
your
it,
response.
Joe, if you just get to the point where you stay with the light, meaning stay present, even if you find yourself drifted off into thoughts, thinking about the past or the future, come back to the present. If you just practice coming back and doing nothing else but coming back, eventually you will start to understand things that you didn't even imagine. It'll become clearer and clearer.
I appreciate it. I'm going to do that because I want to do that and I can see that. I just keep on being pulled to doing it, even if I don't fully understand it. So I am going to keep.
That's right. Don't try to understand it. You don't need faith for this. You don't need belief. You don't need understanding. You don't need to be strong. You just need to do it, and the light will do all that for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that because it's so true. I don't know if you've seen this as well, but do you see how the ego itself, it gives you it comments on everything. Even when you see a thought, it's like it will say, "Oh, it sees a thought," and it's like it just is everywhere. You can't get away from it. It covers everything. So it's like, I don't know really what to do.
The evil spirit you're right about that, man. It got something to say about everything.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah,
it really does because it constantly want life from you, and so it got to keep you unconscious by constantly interfering with you by keeping you in your imagination. So it gets involved with everything. But it will end when you stop reacting or responding or calling it you or fighting with it or anything.
Okay. So I hear you. I'll take from this year what you're saying is in any situation, right, if I've got the awareness to see what's going on, observe it, just stick with that and just let the rest of it be.
Absolutely.
Okay. I appreciate that, Jesse. Thank you for your time.
Hold on a minute. My producer wants to talk to you.
Okay.
All right, hold on. Amazing. Let me go to Hank, a first-time caller out of Illinois, where Trump is sending the roundup team.
Man, let them come. They need to get these clowns out of here. This is ridiculous.
I know. Welcome to the show, Hank.
God bless you, Jesse. Thank you for having me. I never thought I'd even get through. I listen to you all the time.
All parts of all lives all the time.
All lives all the time, man. You're awesome. Amazing.
Amazing.
We got to get these betas out of here so the real men can take over.
Amazing.
But I have a question. I noticed you seem always so solid, like you're unshakable, unbreakable. Nothing gets to you, it seems like anyway. Even with all these comments, the people calling you Coons or Uncle Tom or whether it's white or black, it doesn't seem to affect you. And I just wish I could have that level. I don't know how you do it, man. I'm impressed.
Well, it happens because I have no confidence at all.
No self-confidence? That's a good way to do it. That'll work. Never thought about it that way.
And it's true. I have no confidence at all. And I just get up in the morning and live my life. And wherever the light take me, I'm willing to go. And I have no confidence. I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't think about confidence. And likewise, I have no fear. And so
I think that's the base. No fear. That's what does it. I wish I could get to that point.
And you can.
I worry about everything right now, instead of what I should be worried about.
And what should you be worried about?
Well, I shouldn't be worried about what people think and what people say. And I said that,
I said, what should you said that you worry about everything
except
for what you should worry about. What should you worry about?
My daughter, my salvation, and my wife. You know what I mean? That's all I should be caring about.
And why should you worry about those things?
Because they're what's truly important.
And why?
Because my daughter's like the only reason I'm here. Like, she's literally the reason I'm here.
How old is she?
I don't know where I'd be without her, but...
How old is she?
She just turned 14. She makes straight A's. I can't believe somebody came from me and makes straight A's. I'm amazing. It's amazing.
And why do you have fear?
I'm afraid I can't protect her. That I'm not going to be able to protect her or my wife. Something's going to happen, and I'm not going to be...
When you say
whether
protect
it's physical, mental, whatever, financial, I'm not going to be able to protect them.
And why she's 14, you say?
Yes.
And have you been able to feed and put shelter over them so far?
Yes, sir, I have.
And so why are you afraid that that won't happen when it's already happened and you're taking care of them?
I don't know. I guess I'm just waiting for the bottom to fall out. You know how things get too good and you're just waiting for something to happen, I guess. Maybe that has something to do with it.
If things are good, why are you waiting for something bad to happen?
Because it's never been good before. This is the best my life has ever been, and I'm scared that something's going to change it, Do you realize I quit pain pills cold turkey after 15 years? Just no rehab, nothing, just stopped. When my wife got pregnant, I quit alcohol, I quit drugs.
But why don't you quit your anger then?
I wish I could.
You can.
It takes a better man than me to learn how to do that, Jesse.
You can do
That's why I called you.
You can drop your anger right now if you wanted to.
I think it's the fear, though, is getting in the way.
You only have the fear
anger,
No, you only have the fear because you have the anger. The anger causes fear. Because anger separates you from God, and Satan is your God. And in Satan, there's nothing but fear. Why don't you forgive your mother?
I want to, you know what I mean? I mean, I forgive her. She did what she had to do for me. So I guess, all is forgiven. She did it, and her reason, she felt she was doing the right thing. So I guess I can't criticize.
Why won't you go and forgive your mother?
Because she'll never let me forget it. She would use it against me for the rest of my life. You forgave me.
And how do you know? First of all, how do you know that will happen if you have not gone and done it?
Well, that's a good question. I guess I'm just speculating, but
and so
that's the impression I get.
And let's say that, just for conversation's sake,
okay.
Let's say that does happen. Why do you care what she says?
I guess I shouldn't.
Why do you?
I guess it's the fear and the anger. Part of it, me and my mom have always had this one-upsmanship, and anytime, I learned it from her. I mean, we can hold something over somebody else's head. We never let them forget it simply because we know the other one wouldn't let us if they were in the same situation. And I want to get away from that. I think if me and my mom could get away from that,
you became like your mother because you hate her.
Yeah.
You're angry at her. You became like what you hate.
She took me away from my dad when I was 13 years old. I was roping a cowboy and riding horses by myself and training and everything. And she took me away and moved me to the city around a bunch of people I didn't know. And I guess I never forgave her for it, if I'm being honest.
How will you overcome the fear if you don't face it by going to her and forgiving her? She couldn't help her. Her mother screwed her up, and she screwed you up, and she's evil, and she can't help herself. How will you overcome evil if you don't go and forgive her?
You're right. I don't think I can because that's what's holding me back.
That was a question.
I don't know. I don't think I can because I've been working on my relationship with God, and something's been holding me back there too. And I think it's resentment, not forgiving everybody because
you're not
I understand you can't have blessings if you have hate.
Hank,
if you hate somebody,
Hank,
you can't have blessings.
Hank, you're not working on your relationship with God at all. You're not going to work on your relationship with God until you see that you're evil and you got to go and forgive so he can forgive you. Then you'll be working with God.
Oh, okay.
You got to go and forgive your mother. That's why your wife doesn't obey you. You're married to your mother.
Yeah, pretty much. She's just like, if I don't let her hear you say that, but.
You said what now?
I said, don't let her hear you say that, but yeah, you're right.
And so, if you really want to know God and be one with him, you got to go and forgive your mother so God can forgive you. Mother, I've been resenting you all my life because whatever, and she didn't turn you away from your father. And then I'm sorry for doing that. I realize you couldn't help yourself. And God will forgive you, and he will take away the spirit of your mother. And every human being has this. Men and women got to forgive their mother. Every human being on earth, no matter what religion, what culture, or whatever, right? But you got to face her shaking in your boots. And then God, don't ask her for forgiveness. You just, I'm sorry for resenting you. And God will forgive you and take away the spirit of fear. He will take fear away from you. Because
that's amazing. Thank you, Jesse. That's, I've been asking these same questions for years, and nobody's put it to me in the way you have. I'm so grateful for even getting to talk to you. That's awesome. Thank you.
Well, go and forgive your mother, and the light of God, of Christ, will come on. You will be able to see the rest of the way. So, but you got to forgive your mother, and forgive your father for not protecting you from her. He loved you. He just didn't know how to deal with the hell in her.
Yeah, that's true, because he did try to protect me. He tried everything. He went to court. He did everything.
Yeah. So forgive your mother and be done with her. You don't owe her anything. You're not obligated to her. Let her live at her own misery, and you live your life, all right?
All right. Thank you, Jesse. God bless you, man.
You too, buddy. I want to know, do you agree or disagree with this driver? How this driver handled this situation. Really, I want to know. This is from KTLA. Police are investigating after a report of a hit-and-run crash involving a pedestrian in downtown Los Angeles on Sunday. Watch this from NBC News. What do you think about that?
What do I think about that?
So they out there protesting, getting in the way of somebody just passing by. They don't have anything to do with their mess, and they're gonna get on this person's car and try to. I do audacity.
I take no pleasure in it, but they get what they deserve.
Yeah.
Because I really don't like seeing people get run over. Like
Why not?
It's like a scare. It's like a.
But if they get in front of your car like that and you don't have anything to do with their mess, you just try to go to work or go home.
He did. I think he did. Probably did the right thing, and it's just this.
Probably.
I didn't even like you guys smashing that bug out there. That's what I'm just saying. That Alpha. It's a parasympathetic response. I don't know. It's like a personal trauma where you're like squeamish about seeing. You're not supposed to. I didn't like seeing that guy's head get run over several weeks ago. Remember that guy? They backed over his head and he was fine, but I'm like, oh,
what a beta.
No, that's Alpha. I mean, that's not
the guardian
Alpha,
of Earth. He doesn't like seeing any life
harmed.
A
guardian of
It
Earth.
is what it is. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't have done it. I'm not saying that young lady, I use the term loosely, didn't get what she deserved. But it's just rough to see. And you're like laughing, you heartless person. Like you break people's fingers, I feel like, and you wring chicken necks.
Neck and kill hogs.
Kill hogs with the with the hammer thingy. So you're just a brutal, like a Muslim. Those Muslims from childhood, they slaughter animals. So it's like nothing to them to do people like that too, sort of.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Nick, what did you think? Was that driver right or wrong? Who were at fault? The person that got on their car? They seem to be just passing by. So what did?
I thought it was awesome.
Alpha male.
I loved it.
Faces
but I'm
of
sick
death.
Individual. But personally,
You're
just
sick
yeah,
for liking it.
yeah.
Babe.
No. See, it's one thing to no. See, it's awesome, but I also liked it.
Why?
I like seeing that
What?
violence.
I felt like that should have been like censored or blurred or something.
Are you Mexican or something?
I think that's the indigenous malice inside of me.
Amazing. So was the driver wrong or right based on what we saw?
Oh yeah, I don't think he was
We
wrong.
don't know what really happened. You know, we don't know how it led or what was.
Right.
But this woman appeared to just this driver appeared to be going by. These people out there protesting over something they have no business protesting about, and then getting on this person's car, trying to stop them. What do you think gonna happen or should happen?
It's super dangerous.
Yeah.
You don't want. That's like the last thing you want to let your car. Let that happen to your car. Be surrounded by angry people.
And what made them think that they can jump on your car and you're just gonna stop and let them do it? And then they may even hurt you. Down in Florida, they sent out a notice, loud and clear. If you do this in Florida and you get hurt or killed, that's on you.
Yeah, Governor DeSantis said you can do that. To protect your life.
You got to protect
your
yourself.
properties.
When did we get in this world where we cannot protect ourselves at all? The ones that protect themselves are wrong. That doesn't even make sense to me.
I hope that these videos get around and people cut it out a little bit, because it only has to happen like a few times, and hopefully the drivers get away with it. You know,
God forbid, but if I'm driving down the road, y'all having a stupid rally, and you jump on my car, I wouldn't advise you to do that. Really?
Yeah, because that's a.
I'm not gonna let you hurt me
That's a
because
threat.
you're being stupid.
Yep, that's assault.
Yeah. And here's another situation from CBS News. Video showed the moment two court officers were slashed with a knife on Monday inside the lobby of a Manhattan criminal court there in New York City. The surveillance video shows this. Watch this from CBS News, New York.
An attack against two court officers here at the Manhattan Criminal Courthouse Monday morning effectively brought legal proceedings to a standstill. Surveillance video shows the moment a man attacks court officers at the Manhattan Criminal Courthouse Monday morning, lunging towards them with a knife, slashing two in the face and neck. You can see he takes the knife out of the bag and runs at one before turning around and attacking another. Nearby officers quickly respond and disarm him. And moments later,
Get out of the way! Are you guys kidding me?
an injured man wheeled out of the courthouse by EMS here in the background of this video, holding a white cloth to his face.
I've been coming here for over 20 years. I've never seen an incident of that nature towards a court officer staff.
Police sources tell CBS News that the attack happened around 9:34 Monday morning in the front lobby. On top of the first two officers cut, a third sustained injuries after being thrown into a nearby barrier.
I did see an officer sitting on the bench and he was bleeding. Not profusely, but he was bleeding for sure.
Amazing, huh? Grandpa, tell me about the good old days, the world gone crazy. A court officer spokesperson said there's a citywide staff shortage. Watch this.
The suspect, who CBS News New York has learned has 18 prior arrests, including charges related to assaulting a police officer, was arrested and taken to the fourth floor of the courthouse. What remained Monday afternoon, bloodstains.
There's a center desk in the middle of the lobby area that you could see visibly blood.
And a sense of vulnerability.
Every courthouse needs more people.
Patrick Cullen is the president of the New York State Supreme Court Officers Association and works closely with the group representing the criminal court officers who were attacked today. He says staffing shortages citywide are in part to blame for today's result, with 100 Center Street being at least 15% understaffed, according to the association.
If somebody came in and attacked our officers right at the entrance, we could have had 100 officers there, this may still have happened. But the fact that if we had more officers, somebody would be less inclined to do this.
Amazing, huh? This is why the Democratic Party and the right-o Republicans want to let the criminal out of prison because they want this confusion. They want it. Why do you think they're working so hard to say the criminal illegal aliens? They want you afraid. They want you on the run. They want the votes. As long as they keep you afraid, they can control you. The Democrats are fighting overtime. No bail bonds, no police. And then if you're the victim, you don't have a right to protect yourself. And here's a clip of how a child is stealing a package from a doorstep while the mother seemed to be encouraging him to do it. Watch this from X.
Get it. Yeah. Huh? Now get the bag. Yeah, get it. Okay. Come on.
You still think your mother is an angel? Get that bag. Get it. That's a black. What's wrong with the blacks? It's evil, folks. And the Democrats love this. In all, especially in the so-called blue states, where Democrats are in control, all you have is chaos. There's no peace. And that's what they want. Why do you think Gavin Newsom and that poor, pathetic Karen Bass are fighting against Trump to protect the American citizen by gathering up the illegal aliens and sending them back to where they came from? They don't want that to happen because God forbid if you should have peace in California, New York, Chicago, and places like that. They don't want you at peace. It's evil. Human nature is evil. There is no good in human nature. And I cannot believe, but you don't understand, that you voted to get rid of bail bonds, to let the inmates out of the prisons, because they said, oh, it's racist. And you fell for that. You voted for no police. How does anyone with any common sense vote not to have police? You're voting against your own self-interest. 888-77-53773. First time caller, Dave, out of Pennsylvania. Dave, you are on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Dave.
Nice to talk to you. I just came across your YouTube videos for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I've been watching a few of them, and I wanted to ask you about silent forgiveness. I see a lot of times you're talking about, well, just go forgive your mother or your father or whoever it may be. But I was in, and am still, tangled up in a situation with my ex and her family, and for years. And I got to the point, really after coming across more about Jesus and how he came to save the world, and we tortured and killed him, and he forgave us anyway. And so if you can't forgive people for lesser crimes, that's on you. But it's dangerous for me to be involved with these people anymore in any kind of way. So I came across some other stuff from these monks, this monk YouTuber about silent forgiveness, where you don't have to make any grand display, you don't have to be friends again, but you've forgiven them. No matter how much they may want to get back in your life to control and manipulate you and do that stuff. And when I came across that recently over the wintertime, I thought, I thought, yeah, that's what I need to do. I can do that. I can forgive them. They're human, but I can't open myself back up to them. And I was wondering what you thought about that.
You got to go and forgive your mother for setting you up to be attracted to a woman that was just like her, and that's why you were not able to deal with that woman in the right way, because you have the mindset and nature of your mother, and the woman is your God, and you got to go and face your mother, shaking in your boots, when you realize that, hey, I am angry at my mother. She did this or whatever, right? She couldn't help it because her mother did it to her. And you got to go and forgive her. And when you do that, shaking in your boots, Mother, I'm sorry for resenting you. You screwed my life up. And I became like you, because you become like what you hate. And you become attracted to what you hate. And so when you go and forgive her, God will forgive you. And he will take the fear and evil heart away from you. And you will no longer hate anyone for any reason. But you're not going to be able to do that until you go and forgive. And then those other people, you need to, just don't, you won't, matter of fact, your heart's going to change. So you won't hold anything against anyone, even your enemies, right? You will love them. And love means don't hate. You will love all people, but you'll be done with them. It doesn't mean you got to hang out with them. You don't have to talk to them. You just won't resent them. You will be free, but you got to face your mother.
That's interesting, because I have a really good relationship with my mother, and she's a good woman. Everyone thinks so, and however, I do think that having a wife and being with a woman was, one of the most important things, and I've definitely been struggling with that idea, and definitely now, what I'm going to do, for the rest of my life and everything. And, I don't know how that's going to shake out.
Dave,
but
what's good about your mother?
She's very loving, very caring, for anyone who needs help. She always did the best she could to keep things together, I think. She worked a bit.
Dave, because of time, tell me what's good about your mother.
Oh, she's very loving. She's very loving and caring, and she just seems...
So you're not able to tell me anything good about her?
I'm trying to.
But you can't think of anything?
Honest. Well, she's loving. She's honest. She cares. She puts in the effort. So you can't think of anything, huh? I could call her and she would help. What do you mean? I think those are all good things.
Hold on. Can you hold for me, Dave?
Sure.
Let me take a break. In the meantime, try to think of something good about your mother. Let me go back to Dave. Dave is trying to think of something good about his mother. And a first-time caller out of, and he's talking about forgiveness, silent forgiveness and all that. Dave, were you able to think of anything good about your mother?
I hope so. I think she's a good woman. I think she's
what's good
loving,
about her?
Kind. She's not overbearing. It's not like I saw some in the comments like mama's boy or stay-at-home dad and stuff like that. She listens. She wants to keep the peace. She wants to help. I'm just surprised. I don't really think she was the problem.
But so you're not able to think of anything good about her? Because so far, everything you said about her is evil. It's not good. And so am I right in that you can't think of anything good about her?
I don't think so, because I think she is honest. I think she's caring. I think she helps.
What would happen if you went and forgave her? You notice how your father could not deal with the hell in her, right?
Well, my parents are divorced now. They lost my younger brother to drugs several years ago, and subsequently they parted ways. They're
If
they're
your
both
mother
still local.
if your mother was so good, why couldn't your father deal with the hell in her?
Well, she divorced him.
If your mother is so
So-
good, why would she divorce her husband if she's so good? And why couldn't your father deal with the hell in her? Have you ever ask your father, why is it that you could not handle my mother? Have you ever asked him that?
No, I haven't.
And why not?
That would be interesting. My dad is not a very personal person. He does not share a lot of personal info. We have a good relationship, but especially with him, it's like loose lips sink ships, and that's just how he
And so
is.
why haven't you ask him why couldn't he deal with the hell in your mother? Especially since you thought up to now that she was so good. Why haven't you asked, not him, but why haven't you asked him, your father, why he could not handle the hell in your mother?
Well, I think he tried his best, but I'm certainly interested to ask him now.
And if your mother is so good, why would he have to even try his best to deal with the hell in her if she's so good?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to talk to him.
How old are you?
41.
And why haven't you wondered about that? You know what? If my mother is all good, why couldn't my father handle the hell in her? Why did that has not crossed your mind about? I mean, wondered about.
Well, because I thought he tried, and ultimately he couldn't convince her not to get divorced, I think.
And so why do you think she's good when she divorced her husband?
Well, there are, I don't think she's perfect, and she does have some issues, I guess, in that regard.
Like what,
Again,
for example? Give me one thing that you disagree with her about.
It's complicated, but I don't know. One of the things I think she held against him is that he didn't make more money, or put more effort into a career. He ran a small business, but we had a great life. And we had plenty, and we had a nice house and a nice neighborhood and everything like that. We had a great upbringing. And I think now, I don't know, she's not content with the house, with her place now, and she wanted something better. So there is some of that. But also for me personally, I was always kind of taught, don't get in other people's relationships.
And so would a good mother act that way toward a father who provided for the family in such an amazing way? Would a good woman act that way toward the father?
No, I don't think so.
And yet you believe your mother is all good.
I didn't say she was perfect, but I see your point.
And what's my point?
Is that she's not perfect. She's fallible. She's caused problems.
What will happen if you go to this good mother and forgive her for turning you away from your father by pretending that you were a victim and you identified with her? What will happen if you forgive her for doing that to you, running your father off like that? What will happen if you went to her and forgave her?
I think she would listen. I don't think she would explode at me or anything. I think maybe it would be a productive conversation.
So why don't you go and forgive her for what she's done to you? Your mother is evil, and that's why she has all these fake, what you call good quality. She covered up evil by being all loving and all that. She cares about everybody, and she's this and that. She's evil, and those qualifications that you said about her is a cover up. It's pretending to be good when she's pure evil. That's why she's destroyed you, your father, the man that died from the drug. He was angry too. That's why he was on drugs. And you gotta go. If you don't have to, you can live in your hell. But if you want to be free, you gotta go and face your mother and forgive her for what she's done to you. Then God will forgive you and give you perfect peace.
I will think on this, and I will have that conversation. This is not what I expected when I called, so thank you.
What did you expect?
I expected more about this silent forgiveness concept, because I see a lot of your talk is you got to go do that, and this wasn't even about my parents. This was about my failed marriage and those people and all the hell from that.
You had the failed marriage because you married the wrong woman, and the reason you married the wrong woman because you married the spirit of the mother because you're attracted to what you hate, and you married the same woman that your father married, and you turned out in the same situation that your father did. You're not going to be unattracted to that spirit of the woman until you forgive your mother. If not, you will always make the woman your God, and she will always destroy you.
So that I can relate to. It's a little complicated because my ex-wife and my mother could not be more different.
No, they're just alike. Your mother's just better at covering it up.
Well, maybe.
Evil is evil. But some women know how to cover it up, some don't. But it's the same spirit. That's why you couldn't handle her. You can't even handle your mother.
It's interesting. Well, that's something. So,
what's something? What now?
Just, well, I'll certainly have this conversation a bit, or as best I can, but I don't want her to think she's responsible for my failed marriage and all that stuff.
But she is. Why don't you want her to know that?
Because she was uninvolved.
Yes,
my parents, I felt, were...
She was in you. You have your mother mindset and emotions. Any man that has emotion and anger is a woman. You have your mother's mindset. That's why you must forgive so God can change that nature and give you back yourself and no longer have the nature of your mother.
Well, I hear some truth in that because, I do feel that I'm like more emotional than my father, or I feel things more deeply, and I hear that.
Yeah, you're just like your mother. You have your mother's identity. Every man does, and every woman has a mother identity until they forgive her. Go and forgive, and then God will forgive you, and the nature will change back to what it was before she traumatized you. Your mother's no good. She's a cover-up. She's evil.
All right. I will do that.
If you really think about it, everybody around her, your daddy, your brother, you and your sister, anyone else around, they all being destroyed but her? Why is that? She's the good one, but yet everybody around her falling to pieces.
Well, I also got to say, after my brother's death, for whatever reason, and we know that can cause a tremendous strain on the parents' relationship, my dad did cheat on her with, some other woman.
Do you blame him?
And that's when Sorry?
Do you blame him? He didn't know how to deal with... Go ahead.
Yeah, maybe not. If he was going through some kind of hell that, of course, I never knew about because he doesn't talk to me about that kind of stuff.
Ask him about it because he couldn't. You identify with your mother, so you saw him and treated him the way your mother treated him. It was the same spirit, so he couldn't reason with you. You had taken side with the mother. You just like your mother. You're never satisfied.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to. I guess I'll have to at least discuss it. I'm surprised, but some of this makes sense to me.
And you're surprised at what? About what?
Just about what you're telling me, and kind of thinking it through.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does, and I think I'll have a conversation. Keep it calm.
Don't try to keep it calm. You just have the conversation, and you're not responsible for her reaction. You're not responsible for her feelings. You're not. She's gonna blame your daddy. She's gonna blame you. Or she may say, you know what, you're right. I am evil. I was wrong, but have no expectation from her at all. You're gonna be shaking in your boots, but you gotta shake, and it'll be the last time you were shaking your boots because you're facing the fear. You got to face the fear in order to overcome the fear. And so if she started crying, fine. It's all a cover-up. Because when she's crying, she's lying.
Mm. Yep. Wow. All right. Yeah. No, I'm surprised. I was so focused on, not them. These, my poor parents, they've been through a lot. But, all right.
Know thyself.
I'll do that.
If you want to be free, you got to see what's going on inside of you. Not inside of others, but in you. And once you know yourself, you're going to be free in a way that you cannot imagine. So don't even try. But you got to work on you. The problem is inside of you, and you're never going to have perfect peace until you start dealing with what's happening inside of you. Your problem started with your mother. And forgive your father for not being able to protect you. But you got to stop judging your father because, as I said, you have the same opinion of your father that your mother has because you have identified with your mother. And you think she's all nice and loving and sweet and giving and helpful. Yeah, everybody around you is being destroyed by her.
Mm. Interesting, Jesse. I've been interested since I came across your content. So I'm going to have to chew on this for a bit. But I hear what you're saying, and it makes sense.
And I encourage you to do the silent prayer, rebuildingaman.com/silent prayer, so you can see what's going on inside of you. You're not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. You're not the body. And you have been identifying with that all your life. You have been identified with the wrong self. You're not those things at all. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. So you got to disassociate, if I can use that word, from those things by not identifying with them anymore. That is the spirit of your mother. And it's not even her. It will pass on to to your mother by her mother, and so on and so on.
So then, do you think that a man should be cold and emotionless?
Where are you getting that idea from?
Well, just the concept that that my mom is definitely more emotional than my dad, and my dad really protects information, and we don't have as open and honest of a relationship. He doesn't share any personal details with me. I share more with him.
But you don't want him. You don't want any personal detail from him. That's why you never ask. And he can't trust you because you just like your mother and you never ask about him. You're 40-something years old. Think about that. And you never even asked your father about him. Dad, what happened? What was your life like? Why was it so difficult dealing with my mother? You never ask. And he can't just volunteer to tell you because you're just like your mother. You're the enemy and not the friend.
Mm. I always thought as I kind of always had the opinion that the adults or the people older than you, especially your parents or whatever, if they want to talk to you about stuff, they'll do it.
Are you the adult?
If they don't, well, yeah, I am now.
So who
but
are you talking
I didn't
about
want to pry. I didn't want to pry into my parents' mess.
Then why are you involved with your mother's mess? You won with your mother on all this. Why not your father?
Well, no, they both live in the same town. They get together. They come to the kids' games. We do holidays together.
You have children?
It's not like they can't be in the same room.
You have children?
Yeah, 2.
You have 2? And are you allowed, does this woman allow you to see them?
Oh, I have 50-50 custody after fighting it for 4 years.
And you're still fighting with her?
Oh, she's still dragging me to court. She's from a family of lawyers. It's been hell.
And why don't you lay your weapon down and stop fighting with her?
I did when I said, okay, silent forgiveness, because you give an inch, they take a mile. It's total control, total manipulation with the whole family. She's more involved with her parents than me. It kind of ended up with me having the impression that they treat me like I'm just lucky to be there.
You are.
And
why did you marry a woman like that?
Good question. Couple reasons. I thought about this. I think I was arrogant, thinking that I could make it work with almost any woman. And that was definitely a mistake. And so I thought, well, she was a good woman for me because she was different. And I always thought, opposites attract, and that's a good thing. And my ex was more domineering and, stuff like that. And
you like
I thought
a
we could build
dominating
something.
woman?
No, I don't. It ended up being hell, but I thought I could help her, and I thought we could build something good together. But I really think she didn't think her husband was number one.
She saw your weakness.
It fell apart.
She saw your weakness and she took advantage of it and destroyed you. Are you God?
No, absolutely not. That's
why were you thinking that you can change her and make things work?
Right. No, I think I was a bit
question. Why
arrogant.
were you thinking that way?
Because I thought I was arrogant, or I think I was some level of arrogance where...
You see how that's just like your mother? Your mother thinks she's God too. But the point is, and because of time, stop consulting with thoughts. All thoughts are all lies. All you're doing is they're setting you up. They tell you, oh, this is the right woman. She's different. And you're like, yeah, that's right. And then you got with her. And then they tell you, you can make her this, and you make her, she's different, blah, blah, blah. And then when you married her, the thought tell you, well, you can do this. And you keep going back and consulting with the devil, and the devil laugh at you because you cry at night. And then when you cry at night, you go back to the same consultant in your imagination, and they set you up for another thing. Well, this didn't work, do it this way. Well, this didn't work, do it that way. You got to stop consulting with the devil. All thoughts are all lies all the time about anything, and you're never going to find any truth in thoughts. It's not in there. That's your enemy.
Well, I know that's true. I mean, the relentless onslaught of thoughts is difficult to deal with.
Yeah, so you gotta do the silent prayer so you can. The light of God will bring you out of them. All right, but because of time, I recommend you do the silent prayer. Go and face your mother, and then face your father. Ask him what happened. Hear your father out. Don't jump in and interrupt, but hear him out so you can forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother. And then you will have nothing but love, even for your enemy, and you will lay down your weapon and you will stop fighting. And I'm talking about psychological, emotional fighting. If you got to protect yourself in a physical way, that's different. But I'm talking about spiritually. You need to lay your weapon down, man, and let the light fight your battle for you. But that's not going to happen until you come to the light. And that's not going to happen until you see that anger is evil and it came from your mother.
Well, yeah, this was very interesting. I got a lot to think about and chew on. Thank you very much.
Did you make a boy first or a girl?
My oldest is a boy.
Right on. You got a little alpha male in you. Real men make boys first. Right on.
Thank you. And they're great kids. We're all very lucky to have them.
Oh, amazing. I wish you well. And start working on you. The problem is with you and inside of you. So you got to start working on you.
Will do.
And never argue with that woman of your children anymore. Don't argue.
Nope. That's the thing. I went just just minimal communication.
Yes.
And that's it. No argument about nothing.
Nothing.
It seems to be, and I don't think she can stand that, and she's trying to do everything she can to manipulate things, and it's just a big ongoing mess.
When you stop arguing with her and you don't care anymore in the right way, she's losing control over you and she's having a fit. And she fights desperately to get a reaction from you because she wants to control you. She hates you and she loves you. She hates you and she hates you. She hates that you're weak, and then she hates when you try to be strong. So, but let her go to hell, stay in her hell, and you work on you.
Yep.
I wish you well.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. You too.
All right, buddy. I want to, Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. It looked like, and I don't know, Donald Trump doesn't want to go to war. But he's clear, the Great White Hope, that he is, he's not going to let Iran hold on to that stuff, whatever. What is they fighting over? Nuclear stuff, nuclear power. You can't have it, you can't have it. And that's the only thing he's concerned about, nuclear weapon. Iran, you can't have it. He's making that clear, and he's doing it to protect the world, really, and especially America. Because human nature is evil, and if these people can hold on to nuclear power, I don't tell them what they would do, especially to Israel and America, because they believe that we, Americans, we are the big Satan, and Israel is the small Satan. And why would you let your enemy have such power like that they can destroy you? Why? So hopefully we don't go to war. War is not the answer, right? But we'll see what happens. And I know a lot of people, not a lot, but a whole lot of people, not a lot, are upset that the president is trying to protect America. But you voted for him to protect America, and when you have to do what you got to do, you get mad. But what's so amazing to me is that there are people, and I mentioned this yesterday, there are people who are now calling Donald Trump the king. They say he is a king. But they hate the king. They call him a king, and then they hate the king. And they had their so-called king, no king demonstration. And the way that they rioted, it was a riot, it wasn't a demonstration. It's like they need a king. They need somebody to guide them, to show them what to do, where to go, and how to do it. But I'm like blown away that there are people who see Donald Trump as a king, and they're jealous of it. They call him king in the same way that people call Christ king. And if you know that neither person called themselves king, but the people call them kings. And when you read history going to say, oh, he called himself a king. Or they call him king, so he must have been a king. My country is going out of control, and there are Democrats and other people, even so-called Christian, Catholics and others, who are in support of the enemies of America. Did you ever imagine that? And everybody, and they mama and their mama, want to be arrested now. All of a sudden, everybody want to arrest me. Please arrest me, they say. Come and get me, they say. Arrest me. And they go out and do things in the protest to get arrested. And then they go on TV and talk about how they were arrested. And they cry. And they cry. There was a riot up in Seattle. And during this riot, according to the report, somebody was shot. They were killed. Well, they were shot. I don't know if they were killed or not. NBC News is reporting an innocent bystander. Oh, it was Salt Lake City, not Seattle. My bad. Salt Lake City, not Seattle. My bad. NBC News is reporting an innocent bystander at the No Kings. They call it a demonstration, but a riot. They said demonstration. In downtown Salt Lake City, was shot and killed on Saturday, police says. Here's the first soundbite from ABC for Utah. Watch this.
Police say two people working as event security noticed Gamboa hiding behind a wall, fidgeting with an AR-15. When they approached him, he raised the gun at them. One of them fired 3 shots, hitting Gamboa and killing a bystander.
Get out of this area!
Chaos. Music stops abruptly just before 8 o'clock, and people flee as 3 shots ring out.
It could have been one of us, it could have been our girls.
Virginia Castillo and Derek Barney were at the protest, the first they've gone to as a family.
And they were banging, trying to get people to open the door. And this girl opened the door, and I yelled at them, come on, and everybody started rushing in.
They took refuge in Este Pizzeria until they knew it was safe to go home.
I was just reassuring her all night.
They almost didn't go, but wanted their girls to learn to stand up for what they believe in.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people were shocked by how big the crowd was. And that's what it should have been about.
And so they believe in illegal aliens coming to our country, and that they believe that they should be here and it should be just fine. And if the Great White Hope is trying to ship them back, they believe they could be our protesters to stop it. That's what they should believe in. This is what the parents are teaching them. Here's what happened according to the Salt Lake City police chief.
So what happened?
Officers and detectives were flagged down near 100 South, 200 East, and there they found a man later identified as 24-year-old Arturo Gamboa. He had a minor gunshot wound and was hiding in a group of people. At the time of his arrest, officers also recovered an AR-15 style rifle, a gas mask, and a backpack. Gamboa was treated and later booked into jail on a charge of murder.
Chief Brian Redd says at that time, officers also detained 2 men who were part of the event's peacekeeping team.
These men saw Gamboa separate from the crowd at one point during the march and move behind a wall where they noticed him pull out a rifle and begin manipulating it. Gamboa was then confronted by these 2 men. Witnesses say Gamboa raised the weapon in a firing position and began running toward the crowd. One of the individuals fired 3 rounds, striking Gamboa and tragically striking the man who later died.
He says no one should be afraid of going to a peaceful demonstration. There are still a lot of questions this investigation is going to have to answer, like what was Gamboa's motivation, plans, political ideology, and more.
Amazing. There's nothing peaceful about that, all right? But human nature, this is hell on earth. And you got to let earth go to hell. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't worry. You got to stay away from worry. You cannot do anything about it, folks. And it's going to get worse. That's why I try to encourage you to drop the anger. Work on you. The kingdom of heaven is inside of you. Work on you. Overcome the world inside of you. You will be able to overcome the world outside of you. Because human beings are wicked. And they're very nasty. Their nature is screwed up. Human beings are wicked, and it's only going to get worse. And the only way that human beings, things will get better for the world, you got to change the heart from hate to love. And you're not going to change that until you admit you are evil. Anyone that has anger is evil. And that's what it is, and it separates you from God. And it doesn't matter that you quote the Bible, go to church, go to Allah meetings, go to Mormons meetings, go to Catholic meetings. That's not going to change your heart. Was this driver, and this is a question, right or wrong? And should this driver be punished or not? Really, I want to know from you, Americans and foreigners, illegally, all of y'all. Was this driver right or wrong, and should he be punished? This is from KTLA. Police have arrested a man who they say drove through a crowd of protesters and seriously injured a woman during a weekend demonstration in downtown Riverside. Watch this first soundbite from X. That's amazing, right? Oh my God, they hit somebody. Oh my God, what are you doing? Not oh my God, this driver just seemed to be driving, going about his business down the street. These idiot protesters, they appear to have attacked his car first, hitting it, looked like they hit the window with something and everything. And it appears that he decided he's going to protect himself. And they're yelling, oh my God, what is this? Not, oh my God, they have attacked somebody, an innocent person who appears to be just driving by. They're not, oh my God, I can't believe we're attacking this man's car. These people putting their lives on the line. They're not a part of this mess, it seems. That's not, oh my God. Oh my God, these people protecting themselves. Is that wrong or right? Well, the driver was arrested along with the female passenger. Watch this from KTLA.
A man and woman have been arrested in connection with a hit-and-run crash during a protest in Riverside that left a woman in critical condition. Police say Russell Allen Prentice was arrested for intentionally driving his SUV into a group of No Kings Day demonstrators Saturday night, seriously injuring a woman, then leaving the scene. That victim, 21-year-old Alexa Carrasco, was rushed to Riverside Community Hospital, suffering from broken bones, several skull fractures. She remains in critical condition. Candace Wenzel is accused of helping the suspect destroy evidence after the attack. Both Wenzel and Prentice were arrested yesterday and booked into the Robert Presley Detention Center.
Should these people be charged for trying to, it appears that they're trying to protect themselves from the mob that seemed to have attacked them in their car, and they seem to be just driving by? Should they be punished, or should the people who attacked the car, the people, be punished? Talk about the inmate running the insane asylum. I dare you to go down to Florida with that mess and see what happens. They said down in Florida, if you attack people in their cars, you run over these people. Don't sit there and let yourself be hurt by these people. These are evil people protesting anyway, rioting. That's not a protest. First of all, protests carry American flags, not enemy flags. Do you think these people were wrong, the drivers? These rioters were blocking traffic, putting everybody's life in danger. Everyone. The American law is not protecting the innocent anymore. It only protects the criminals. I want my country back. I know I'm saying that, but I know it's not coming back. Bring back, oh, bring back my country to me. Bring back. But Americans not coming back. You can bank on that. But yet, you can be free in all of this hell if you overcome the hell inside of you. It's amazing to me. I do lots of counseling during the week by phone, Skype, or walk-in. You can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-BOND to make an appointment. But you got to be patient because it's so booked up, and we'll get you in there as soon as possible. But the suffering that each human being goes through and are going through is mind-blowing to me. And they don't know. They know, some people do, they know something is wrong, but they don't know that what's really going on, that they're possessed with evil, and that evil is controlling them. It gives them fear and jealousy, revenge, shyness, fear, loneliness, all kinds of things. And the people are suffering. It's amazing to see it. And then it's also amazing to talk to the men and women who are working on themselves, and they're starting to see it because they just didn't know. They weren't told this while growing up before they can completely identify with evil. But you are not in control. Our battle is a spiritual battle. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities in wicked places inside of you and outside of you, inside of others. You can never trust an angry person. Never trust an angry person. Here's an example. What I'm about to show you is a perfect, and there are many perfect examples, this riot that has happened around the country. These riots are examples of evil. And the interesting thing is the ones who are out there protesting for or against my country and supporting the enemies, and the ones who are out there protesting against it. It's the same spirit. Why do you need to fight with the world? What good has it done you other than give you a false thrill to fight with the world? Think about that. You've been taught to fight. You growing up, fight. You got to fight for what you want in life, you're told. And that's not true. Black people, the blacks have been told, you got to be smarter than the white man. You got to work harder than the white man. You got to work extra hard if you're black. That's another lie. And they tell their black children, the police, watch out for the police. The police are racist. The police are police brutality. It's another setup for the children. It's just all evil, folks. I want to give you an example of what evil is doing to the family, even more so. This is from Truly. Parents, Jonathan and Anna, have been criticized online for choosing to support their 8-year-old daughter transition from male to female. The weird thing about that, you can never transition from your nature. You may change your body part, but you're still the same, male or female. That did not change. It ain't going to change. You can't change that. Now, you may call it something else, but that's not what it is. But anyway, this boy transitioned from male to female, according to the story. Watch this from... you're going to see where the father interacting with what they call the daughter now, but it's still the son. Watch this from X.
Hey guys, so Edie wants to do a summer holiday morning routine and show you get ready with me and show you guys what her skincare is and her room is and how she picks her outfit and all that cool. So that is the skincare element of the video complete. What's next, Edie?
I think I'm gonna do my hair next.
How do you get your hair so wonderful?
Maybe not in the mornings, it doesn't look that wonderful.
Think about that. That's a boy. And according to this story, the couple is from Surrey, Canada. They have 4 children, including their daughter. That was that boy. They call him a daughter now. Edie, who decided to transition during the lockdown of the global pandemic. And look how the father is doing this to his son. The father is doing this to his son, treated him like he a girl. Think about the misery that this boy going to go through as he get older. The conflict within. And the father is acting worse than the mother about it. He's like all into it, or pretending to be. And you don't see that person, both of those people are possessed. That they're not in control. No one is in control of their own lives. And there's no such thing you can control your own life. Think about that. The father, who's supposed to be the light of the family, is in darkness. And he's supporting darkness. That boy, little child, doesn't have a chance. This is good versus evil, folks. You can be free, but you got to drop your anger. You got to forgive your mothers and your father. They have set you up, especially the mothers. They don't love you. They never have loved you. They have no love. You've been set up by your own parents. Every human being. Except for those who are starting to wake up now. Just think about this. Your own parents set you up to have a terrible life because they have no love. They have no love. And they have set you up. They have told you, you should live life this way. Go to school. Learn this. Work hard. Fight. Get married. Get into this and get into that and do this. And you do it and you suffer. And you suffer. Your own parents set you up. Every human being on this side of the planet. I mean, on this side of heaven. What a mess! If I was emotional, that would be sad to see that father doing that to his son. His son. And you can kind of see that the son can't stand the father. Even with all that gushing the father doing over him, you can see the son is irritated by the father. You see it? And that's why he wanted to be a girl. He identified with his mother. Gushing. Gushing. Not gushing. It's gushing if you're black. It's gushing if you're white. But you can see. I want to play that one more time. So maybe now you'll be a little more conscious of what you're looking at. I want you to watch without judgment and see the little irritation in the kid. See the little irritation in the kid. This kid's still not happy with the father. Carrying on like that. So this is out of this man, according to this report, Jonathan, and the mother is Anna. And their little boy they allowed this to happen because the little boy couldn't do it on his own. Have now calling himself a girl. And I want you to watch the fakeness in the father, and the little kid is irritated at the father even more so. Watch this from our ex.
Hey guys, so Edie wants to do a summer holiday morning routine and get ready with me and show you guys what her skincare is and her room is and how she picks her outfit and all that cool. So that is the skincare element of the video complete. What's next, Edie?
I think I'm gonna do my hair next.
How do you get your hair so wonderful?
Maybe not in the mornings, it doesn't look that wonderful.
Amazing. The father acting that way with his son. Now you see evil. Isn't everybody? But you can overcome it when you stop identifying with it. I have a biblical quote for you. Well, I think it's biblical. It makes sense. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. Ernest Hemingway. That's so deep, I don't know what to do with it. It's so deep, I don't know what to do with it. There's nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your formal self. There go Ernest. That's what he look like. He white. He is so right about that, I don't know what to tell you. But finding someone who's willing to become superior to their formal self, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Because they love, false love, but they love themselves as they are. That's a deep statement, right? From Ernest Hemingway. There's nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. Every human being wants to be superior to somebody else. And you can always tell an inferior person, they say, this person is superior to me. The white man is superior to the point deep in their soul, they call him white supremacy. Hell to the king. They believe white people are superior to them. White people don't believe that, but they believe it. And now there are people who believe, and it may be true, that Donald Trump is a king. They believe it so much they had a major rally a few days ago around the country, Hail to the king. And as I said yesterday, Donald Trump never called himself a king, but they do, because they see him as king. He doesn't see himself that way. Donald Trump knows he's his former self is the only thing that he's superior to. He's over that. But the world call him king. And then they'll say, when they're out picking it, they'll say he's a king. He think he's a king. He never said that, but they said about him. And when they write history, they going to say Donald Trump called himself a king. Donald Trump never called himself a king. They call him, and that's what they did with Christ. They called Christ king, Lord, and everything. And then they wrote in the history book, Jesus called himself a king, and then they worshiped him. And he never called himself that. And they made him into a king. They made him into a god. And then they said he called himself a god. He never called himself a god. The people did. The people made him a god. And then they say, in history, they say he said he was God. So he is God. And he never said it. Think about that. They're doing the same thing to the great white hope, Donald Trump. They're doing the same thing. They're doing it, and they're going to write in the history book the day of Hell King. Remember when they all rallied? They're going to say he called himself a king. And the next generation will believe that Donald Trump called himself a king in the same way that the next generation and generations believe that Christ called himself a king because the people call him that. I rest my case. Christ never called himself a king. Christ said, you're his brother. He said, what I own, you own it. You're the inheritance to what I have. Think about that. My land is your land because of the Father. But yet, they say he's king, and they write in the book that he was king. He was God. There's someone that is called the smartest man, well, according to Facebook. According to Facebook, YoungHoon King. Hoon is H-O-O-N. James Hong.
It sounds like Hoon.
Hoon. YoungHoon King. That must be a Chinese name.
I would tell you to ask your producer, but I don't know if he's trustworthy on pronunciations.
In my ears, he's telling me YoungHoon King.
There you go.
YoungHoon Kim. Noted for having an IQ of 276. Is that high? That's a high IQ?
That's at least double most of us.
What's yours?
I think Lin Yan Chin told me I'm around 117-ish.
Who?
Lin Yan Chin.
Oh, he did a test on you?
He just observes and reports.
Who is
estimates.
that? He's like one of a YoungHoon King?
He's a regular supporter of your show and mine.
Oh, thank you. Oh, no wonder.
Right.
That's nice.
But he estimates his own at 72.
At 72? At 272 or 72?
072.
And what is yours?
He thinks I'm like 117.
Why he think that about you?
Because I'm pretty smart, I guess. But like a midwit. That guy is 276.
Yeah. They
That's
said
like triple.
They said in this report, YoungHoon Kim noticed for having an IQ of 276, currently the highest ever recorded. Recently shared a powerful declaration. And quoted him, I guess, I believe that Jesus Christ is God. This is him, quote unquote. I believe that Jesus Christ is God, the way and the truth and the life, quote unquote. So that means every Christian is a 276, because all the Christians believe that. All the Christians believe that Jesus Christ is the way, the light, and God. So everybody 276.
That's not how it works.
What do you mean?
IQ has little to do with specific beliefs, I think.
Well, he said that he has the highest IQ, and he made a powerful declaration, which all the Christians make powerful declarations.
Is he Korean?
I don't know. Does that sound like a Korean name?
I think so. Kim, right? I don't know.
He made, because his IQ so high, he made a declaration that he believed that Jesus Christ is God, the way, the truth, and the life, according to this Facebook post. And so that means every Christian...
That's Twitter. That's X.
Facebook.
Oh, well, that looks like an X post to me.
How you know?
I don't.
It is a tweet that he has. But I was just reading from the Facebook post first.
Ah.
And so that means that every Christian IQ is 176.
That's a low IQ comment.
What do you mean?
Because that's not what that means.
Oh. Well, it says he has the highest IQ ever.
Nice. And if we all believe the same thing, then we can have that IQ too.
Evidently. All the Christians believe that Jesus is God. This is a tweet. Kim tweets where he made Kim's tweet where he made this statement from X.
Yeah, on his profile, it reads right here, YoungHoon Kim, as the world's highest IQ record holder, I believe that Jesus Christ is God, the way and the truth and the life.
So all Kim did was read the Bible and repeated that. That's what it is. Right? What?
I don't know if he should have been saying, as the world's highest IQ holder, I believe that.
Because that's every Christian. They all believe Jesus Christ is God. All y'all got a high IQ. A high IQ. The highest in the world ever recorded.
Nice.
Here's his explanation of God and the afterlife. Watch this from X.
In this video, I would like to share my idea, my thoughts about afterlife. I think our consciousness continues beyond death, definitely. Our consciousness is not just brain activity, but it is something deeper. Science says that when the brain stops, then our consciousness disappears. You believe this now, but quantum physics says that information never disappears. Never. It only changes in forms. If our consciousness is quantum information, it may continue after the body is gone.
I couldn't tell you that. What?
That means you got 276, Jesse.
Oh, there's this meme where the high IQ person, the really high IQ person, and the really low IQ person, idiot, say the same thing, and then the midwit says, "I don't know, that's true."
This is the midwit meme. What you're looking at is an image. That curve, that bell curve you're looking at, is the bell curve of IQ across the population. Most people fall in the middle, average.
That's Hake in the middle.
And then the extremes, the really low IQ and the really high IQ, of course, they fall at the extremes. They say that the really low IQ and the really high IQ generally agree with each other, and it's really just the people in the middle that endlessly argue about little details.
The low IQ is Jesse, and the high IQ is Kim, the Korean.
I can tell y'all that.
And then us midwits are.
I'm with Hake in the middle.
Because consciousness and the brains have nothing in common. The brains just tell the body how to function. And so, of course, when you die, the consciousness, whether it's dark unconscious state or light unconscious state, stay alive and just go wherever. Ooh, he really got a high IQ. What?
I do wonder about IQ and whether what value it is. I feel like people may overestimate the value of IQ because they're atheists at heart. You know how you talk about how anger makes people stupid?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who confuse it with IQ. The stupidity of anger with the stupidity of low IQ.
Oh, yeah.
You could be low IQ, but as Lin Yin Chin says, supercharge your IQ or something like that. Work it on overdrive because you're calm. You're at peace. Anyway, blah blah blah.
Oh, amazing! So this man high IQ way up there. 176.
You know how blacks are so violent per capita?
Yeah.
A lot of times people chalk that up to low IQ and low impulse control, whatever that is, but low IQ. But I don't think that it's necessarily because of the low IQ.
It's not.
I mean, the major factor that pushes it over, like you say, is anger.
100%. Kim gave an example of quantum information not disappearing but changing form. Watch this from X.
For example, like computer data stored in the cloud, our consciousness may not be trapped in the brain. Quantum entanglement suggests that our consciousness is part of a bigger system beyond the physical world. Some scientists and philosophers believe that our world may be a simulation created by a higher dimension of being, which I believe. If this is true, then the death is not the end, but a shift to another reality.
That's in the Bible. The Bible says that death is not the end. No such thing as death. When are we going to get to his high IQ? Or is this it? What the? What?
Nice.
So, what is quantum?
I looked it up, and it's something like the smallest unit of existence of something or something.
The smallest use of the brain?
I don't know. I looked it up, but I couldn't really in the context of physics, it refers to the smallest discrete unit of any physical entity involved in an interaction.
And what does that mean?
I don't know, whatever.
So
it's like the smallest piece of anything that can't be broken down even smaller.
So there is saying quantum physics is the science of the very, very small, the tiny particle that make up anatomy. I mean atoms. Atoms like electron and protons.
Photons.
Photons. So that really helped me understand it, Derek.
You have to have high IQ to understand.
I need
the definition.
276 IQ for that one. What a mess! I have said that, and I've said this for a long time. This is not new. That America should not put blacks in charge of their country, in their government, police department, in their Congress and mayors and city council, because blacks cannot run anything. And the proof is in the pudding. Now, the proof is so in the pudding, you can take the pudding out and just leave the proof. You have allowed these people to get into government, Congress, so-called senators, mayors, police chiefs, district attorneys and everything. And look what destruction they're bringing up on America. They don't stand for anything that's good. Anything that's bad that's happening to America, look around, you see blacks leading the way. And if they're not leading their way in a certain situation, they're right there with it. Because it's not in their nature to lead and to add to it to make it better or to create a good situation for all people. It's just not in them. Look what the fallen Messiah, Big Mama Michelle did, Obama. Look what they did to America. They made it worse, and it's only gotten worse. You have this black female, insane female by the name of Jasmine Crockett, and she's supposed to be a representative, so-called of the Democratic Party. There's nothing but nasty, evil destruction in this black female, and you allow her to get into your government. The white people, when I say you, white American, who founded, discovered, and built the greatest country on this side of heaven, with the help of God, you allow this female, like Maxine, the Wicked Witch of the West, Maxine Waters wasn't enough. You allow more of them to get in. This is why they keep this idea of racism going. They want to keep the blacks angry and make the blacks think that you can't make it because of slavery. And they use this on every situation, because as long as they remind the blacks that it's the white man keeping you down, they can stay in position of so-called power and money. And because of most blacks, not all, but most will not wake up and realize they've been lied to and take control of their own life, it's going to be around for a long time. This is South Africa. Where will white people go when America completely becomes South Africa and there's a genocide upon white America all the way in America? White America, where are you going to go? You can't go to South Africa. You can't go to Europe. And you won't be able to stay in America. Where we? Oh, Elon Musk is building a rocket to outer space. Jasmine Crockett is an evil, nasty female. And you voted her in as your representative. According to Fox News, a report from Fox News, Jasmine Crockett claimed that any American still supporting President Donald Trump is sick, and that there is a mental health crisis in America. Watch this.
You have a president that is openly just a criminal, like not just the convictions he's got, consistently breaking laws, ignoring court orders, violating the Constitution, and doing it all because he really is seeking this retribution that he campaigned on. He said, I will be your retribution. And so this idea that we don't care how many people get hurt, we don't care how we prostitute our service members, thinking that You have your own special little army that's for you. I mean, it is sick. It is really sick. And anybody that supports it is also sick.
And this is what you voted in. Black people, you can do it better than this? And you voted in this. Amazing. And it's going to get worse. The president is putting America first, shut down the border completely, which no other Democratic government has ever done that I'm aware of. He is bringing back jobs, bringing businesses back to America. If President Trump had not sent in the National Guard, this riots that been going on in the last few days or maybe a week or two would be way worse than what it is. They would be burning down this country like the radical Black Lives Matter people did because no one stopped them. You better be thankful that Donald Trump is doing what he's doing. Because these Democrats like Jasmine Crockett and others, they get a thrill making you miserable. That's why they push it so desperately. It's a thrill for them. The more fear you have, the more thrills they get. And you vote them into your country. Let them run your country. You'll make, I challenge you over and over again. Name me anything good that so-called black leaders have done to add to America to make it better. Add to what white people are already doing to make America good, great. But or any of these blacks have, tell me something new that they have done that was to make it better. You can't name a thing, but you can name all type of destruction that so-called black leadership has brought upon America. Black people have not gotten better as a result of voting for black people. They've only gotten worse. And you elect a female like Jasmine Crockett. Sheila Jackson Lee wasn't enough for you? That woman was evil to the core. Out of Houston, Texas. I think she's dead now. She's dead. I think she's dead, right? Yeah, she's dead, I believe. According to the report, and I heard, I think, somewhere, so don't hold me to this, but catch and release illegal, there was no catch and release illegal in May, I believe. In May, I heard that before. Border Patrol didn't release a single illegal into the U.S. last month, according to the White House. Now, when have you heard of something like that? In May of 2024, the Biden administration allowed 62,000 plus illegal aliens into the United States. In May of 2025, Trump allowed 0. That's from Custom and Border Protection. 0. Did you ever imagine that would happen in America? And these Democrats and liberal and these Catholic preachers and things, they are jealous of that. They don't want that to happen because they get money when these people come in for their programs and stuff like that. It's not that they care about the illegals at all. Yeah, Sheila Jackson Lee expired in July of 2024, according to Wikipedia. And she died in office and did nothing good for Houston. Zero. But because she was a black female, you kept her there. Because she would cry racism at the back of an eye. Another poor example. Black people, y'all don't have anybody else that you can vote for, if that's what it is? If you gotta have a black representative, why do you have to have a black representative anyway? Where did that come from? Who told you that because you're black, you need a black representative? Where did that lie come from? That's a lie. These people told you this because they wanted you to vote for them. You need the best representative, best man representative, not a black representative. And if you think that's bad, remember they had that lesbian woman in Chicago as mayor. What was her name? I don't know her name. But we thought she was bad. And the blacks went from bad to worse. When she was gone, they decided to elect Brandon Johnson, Laura Lightfoot, whatever. Yeah, Laura Lightfoot. What a mess. And they're like, you know what, that's not bad enough. Let's get Brandon Johnson, another black man, or a black man, to be the mayor of Chicago. We know he'll destroy it. And lo and behold, black people, when will you stop around the world, too, not just in America, but especially in America, America first? When will you stop allowing yourself to be used for evil? And stop being proud of being used for evil? When will that stop? You are allowing yourself and supporting being used for evil. Chicago.gov is reporting a flag raising ceremony in honor of Juneteenth. Who ever heard of Juneteenth? That doesn't even make sense. And they made it a so-called national holiday. That ain't no holiday. Juneteenth, what's that? That doesn't even make sense. What are you raising a flag for? That's not a real holiday. That's appeasement. That's DEI holiday. But anyway, this guy raised a flag ceremony in honor of Juneteenth. Mayor Johnson announced a $4.11 million investment into community wealth building to offer community the opportunity to build finance wealth and prevent displacement. So the blacks still ain't got sense enough or don't have sense enough to build their own lives as individuals. They need more handouts. When will the handouts end? And why is it that the handouts we've been giving the blacks all these 70 years, they have nothing to show for it? Zero. Here's Johnson from our X.
Our way will bring to black residents in reclaiming ownership of our own communities. That is the spirit of Juneteenth, you all. It is about reflecting on our past. Other cultures are taught to never forget. We need to be reminded as blacks here in Chicago and America, remembering our past and working towards a more just future. Investing in black is not a criminal act.
Free money, reparation. They love it.
Sister Zakiya says she need a witness, so I'm gonna say it again. Investing in black is not a criminal act.
Amen. Praise the Lord. Lift up holy hands. More free money, which is not going to do anything good for the black. We've been giving the blacks free money for 70 years now. Where's the dividend? where is the investment? Where has the investment paid off? Except for in the pockets of these fake black so-called leadership. It's about the money. And yet you vote for him. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. ABC 7 Chicago is reporting the Chicago City Council passed a curfew proposed aimed at preventing downtown team takeovers. They said we're gonna have a curfew. That's the right thing to do. This black guy, Johnson, so-called mayor, said he would veto it. Watch this from ABC 7.
Offering up police power, extended police power without any check or balance, has not boded well for black people and brown people in this country.
The mayor's veto announcement came an hour and a half after city council members voted 27-22 to pass the ordinance, allowing the CPD superintendent, after adhering to a set of rules, to impose an earlier curfew in response to so-called teen takeovers.
This will be used in a constitutional and effective manner, and all the notice requirements that are in the ordinance will be adhered to.
The mayor's veto was not a surprise.
It is the necessary step, so that we don't find ourselves in a situation where 20, 30, 40 years from now, we look back and we end up engineering the same type of carceral state that we're trying to disrupt.
So he's saying that in the next 20 and 40 years, the blacks still going to be screwed up. And he want to make sure of that. So rather than a curfew, he's leaning into a summer program. Watch this.
The mayor leaning into his summer programs and jobs for youth, which he's credited for a drop in crime.
I think it was the right decision to veto it, and we need to move forward and find things to do better for the youth.
But at least one downtown neighborhood group says the curfew also has the safety of kids in mind.
It's not about just protecting the neighborhood and the businesses there. We had a tool, it was recognized today, and that finally passed, and I'm excited about. To veto this without a backup plan, I don't know if that's the best path forward.
We're told the mayor will veto the ordinance this week, likely on Friday, the same day summer officially begins.
Amazing, huh? Here's Johnson expressing his concerns for the curfew.
Every freaking day, I'm raising children in this city. I know what it's like to feel unsafe and to be targeted. We have to stop as a city falling to some of the most ridiculous, remedial forms of governance. It has not worked. And now we're doing stuff that works, and then they want to come up with another idea that has not worked. What sense does that make? I'm saying ask deeper, more profound questions about why young people are gathering in spaces in the first place. That's why I was up to freaking midnight on Saturday night, out, hanging out with some of the young people at the late night basketball, showing up for these young brothers. They all could be my son. They can all be my nephews.
How can they all be your son? Were you a slut maker? How can they all be your children? It sounds like Barack Obama. Remember when Barack Obama said, if I had a son, he would look like Trayvon Martin. And then what happened? So who are you most afraid of in Chicago? The police or the blacks? Who are you most likely to get robbed by or killed by? The police or the blacks? Who is most likely to break into your establishment? The police or the blacks? And all those children that could be yours, why don't you discipline them since you have so many of them? What now? Here's an example of what it looked like. And the same demons that controlling these people is controlling everyone who has anger. A little bit of anger, a big anger, whatever you want to call it. Anger is anger. It doesn't matter what size it is. But the same spirit that's controlling these people is controlling every human being with anger. And every human being that has anger is evil, and evil is your God. Fox News is reporting Black drag queen performed at the opening ceremony of the Oregon House of Representatives, latest session in honor of Pride Month on Wednesday. Watch this first soundbite from Fox News. Amazing. You're looking at the mother spirit in those bodies. And it's not the mother herself, but the spirit that made a home in her, passed down from Eve. That's the female spirit. Satan is a female spirit, feminine spirit. Christ, God, is the masculine spirit. That's why when women overcome being a female and become a woman, they have a brand new mindset. They have a mindset of the Father, no longer a mindset of Satan. But that same spirit that have those people doing that, it's the same spirit in every angry person. Now, you may not go dance in a dress and a drag queen, but you have the same spirit. You'd have the same emotions and everything. It's the same thing. Now, you may judge these people and say, oh, I'm not like that. I can't believe that. I would never do that, you say. But you would judge your fellow man. You would judge your fellow woman. You would judge yourself. Same thing. What's the difference? You will have fear inwardly. What's the difference? It's the same thing. You may not go out and rob a bank. You may not have rob a bank. You see the note in it for you? You may not rob a bank, but it's the same spirit. You going out robbing somebody else. You're judging them. You're putting up a front in front of them. You pretend that you love them when it's all about you. You go and feed the homeless, and you brag, and you tell everybody, I went and fed the homeless today. As though you care. That's those people. That's the same spirit in every human being. It's no different. You go out and feed the homeless, and on Sunday morning you're down there, and you remind everybody you fed the homeless today. Because it was about you. It wasn't about them. You stand downtown there, the homeless come by, you dip up some food, you put it on the plate, you give it to them, and you're smiling while you're giving it to them, and you're saying, praise the Lord, brother. And it's all about you. You get a thrill from that. It's not about the homeless. It's about you. Everything you ever done and is doing is about you. And you lie and say it's about them. Your mother don't love you. It's about her. A young man called the show the other day. Oh, I have the best mother. She's so kind. She's so helpful. She's so giving. She's so caring. And I'm like, but you resent her. I'm like, your mother, none of those things. She's covered up the evil inside of her. Oh, no, but she's so kind. So why can your father deal with her if she's so sweet and kind? Oh, yeah, you may have a point. Human beings does not love anyone. It's all about self. It's never about the other. friends are about themselves. They're not about you. Your brother, your sister, your mama, your daddy, your husband, your wife, your own children is about themselves and not you. Human beings don't have love. When will you realize that? And when you do realize it, and I promise you this is so amazing. When you really realize what's going on inside of you and start to overcome, you will not be shocked or surprised by anything that human beings do. You won't be shocked. You will understand. You would know why they're doing it. They won't be able to shock you in. You would expect. You would know that. Okay. So I recommend do what you want. You get to know yourself. You got to forgive your mother and your father so that God can forgive you and make you whole again and get rid of this false self. One other quick thing I want to show you. I showed you the drag queen, the spirit of the drag queen. It's the same spirit in every angry person. You may not be dressed in drag, but it's the same spirit. Watch how difficult this black woman is to deal with. It's the same spirit as in the drag queens. It's the same spirit that in anyone that lives by ideas that has anger. It's the same thing. Watch how difficult this black woman is. She responded, watch how this black woman responds after police asked her to leave a store for allegedly cause a disturbance. Watch this from TikTok.
Hey there, man. You gotta leave, all right? Causing a disturbance in here. We're not gonna tolerate it, okay?
I was waiting to use some hand sanitizer.
Okay, but you can use it and leave, okay?
All right, Mr. Sir. Thank you
all right,
very
no
much.
problem. Your first name?
Don't ask me my name. You asked me that too many times already, and it's nasty. I feel nasty telling you if you don't know that.
Okay.
If you don't understand, I don't know. I don't like telling people my name, so don't ask me.
Well, here's the problem. You're causing a disturbance in here.
I'm not making noise. I'm not being loud.
No, I mean,
nothing.
they asked us to come here to remove you from here.
Right,
So
I didn't know that, Mr.
So,
no, nobody told me nothing. I didn't know.
okay,
Nobody
so
ever
I'm
told
telling
me.
you. Okay.
All right.
So now you're not going to be able to use your hand sanitizer. Okay?
Why? Because you got pissed off? You got mad?
No. I mean, I'm asking you to leave. You're not leaving. Okay.
Right, but nobody told me to leave. I didn't know.
I'm telling you. You're gonna
all right,
leave.
so excuse
Okay.
me. I'll
Okay.
be out in a few.
No. You don't. No, you're going to leave now.
Why?
Okay.
Because you said so?
She is possessed. And every angry person is possessed. Yet you think Jesus was angry. Oh, Jesus was angry. Anger is good, you say. The woman continued to cause a disturbance and had to be detained. Watch this from TikTok.
When they call the police...
I didn't know nobody told me they called the police. I didn't do shit.
We're here.
So why are you talking shit to me if I
We're
didn't
here.
do nothing? All right, but I didn't do nothing. So what are you talking about?
Do you think I just come in here because...
No, but I don't know. Nobody told me they called the police. Excuse me, you gotta tell me they called the police.
It doesn't work
before I
like
leave.
that.
Yes, it does.
Doesn't
You're
work.
not stupid, man. The f you talking about?
So
What
you
did
think,
I do?
so you think I just come in here and bother people that are shopping in Wawa?
I didn't even ask nobody
Okay.
for shit. So what do you
So
say?
I'm going to give you 30 seconds to leave.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Other than that, I'm going to carry you out. Okay? Is that okay? Two options.
You sure?
30 seconds.
You sure about that?
I'm 100% positive.
You sure about that?
I'm 100% positive.
You don't have to stand there
All right,
watching
let's go.
me.
Let's go.
Excuse
Come
me.
on.
Don't touch me.
Come on.
I didn't do nothing. Why are you touching me for? Let him off. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. Excuse me. Okay, I'm doing it. Okay, don't hurt me.
Amazing. She is possessed, and so are you. Every angry person, a person that get revenge, the same spirit that's in that woman is in you. That's why you want revenge, because you're evil. Human beings are evil. Human beings love roaming the earth to see who they can hurt. And then they get a thrill, and then they cry at night. Watch how the law enforcement responded to this black woman who decided to bite the officer. Watch this from X.
Yo, that's your name. Put your back Take off your badge, bro. Take off your badge. Take off your badge, bro.
What's wrong with the blacks? It's the same spirit, folks. They're possessed and don't know it. They hate their mothers and they're yearning for the fathers. It had nothing to do with racism or white people or anything. Every human being is possessed and don't know it. They have called a evil possession them. This is who I am. I get angry because that's who I am. I cry because that's who I am. I worry, I have fear. I do that because I love you, they say. And they make up excuses for evil because they have identified with it. Every human being. And then there are those who have started to see this and they're starting to overcome, men and women. You can overcome or you can stay in your hell. It's really up to you.